Good evening. It's bourbonblog.com's Cigar Saturday. We have Matty Rock joining us from New Jersey, and it's our special guest tonight, Chris Topper, fourth generation Topper Cigar Company. That direction on in the middle of us. How's it going tonight, gentlemen?
Doing fine. Great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, it's great to have you, Matty. You're at Sanj's tonight.
We're at the usual spot. Sanj is ringing on the register. He's working tonight, man. He's pumping it.
He's pumping it.
He's getting his mojo on.
Well, Matty, we got to hang out last weekend. It was so good to see you for your birthday there for our Cigar Sunday.
That was awesome, brother. It was good it was good after 16 months of being chained to a desk to see you. So, namaste, much love, brother.
Namaste, and much love to you. And we'll be seeing you next weekend, of course, too. I think still a few tickets left for that event. We want to mention before we get started here?
I think we do want to mention that event. So anybody who hasn't been listening or hasn't been following our social media feeds, so next Saturday at Handsome Devil Barbecue, which is in Newburgh, New York, we're doing a charity event for my sensei, my master, who unfortunately passed away far too young, Mr. Carl Ruiz, Chef Carl Ruiz, a.k.a. the Cuban. And this charity basically assures that young kids are afforded the opportunity to go to culinary school that otherwise would not have had the opportunity to do so. And Sanj right here can actually show you one of the packs that you will be receiving.
Hey, Sanj.
How are you?
How are you? See you.
Good, Sanj. How are you? Good to see you.
Likewise, brother. Likewise. So when we
Been a
doing
while.
what we need to do, Chris?
What's that?
When we doing what we need to do?
Yeah, I told Chris got to come down. We got stuff to do, dog.
It's good to be traveling again, so I'll be down to see you soon.
Yes. So this is what they're gonna get next Saturday. So we made a little package. So this is what it looks like, right? And then they're all gonna get Carl Ruiz's sticker.
That's by artist Chris Work.
Right.
Made those stickers
Nice.
for us. Robots will kill.
And then there's a nice little goodies in this bag that I put together, and it's gonna have we're gonna have a good time. So this was like something real quick we decided to do, and I'm like, hey, when it comes to charity, I'm all in.
Yes.
So we're gonna give out Section 8 Salomon. That's one.
Yes.
We're gonna give out Ashton. We're going to give out Perdomo Champagne, Herrera Steli,
Yeah.
and last but least, Davidoff. So it's all top-notch cigars you have, and it's going to be a good time. So
Amazing.
I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Me too, brother. It'll be so good to finally. I feel like I've already hung out with you many times.
Yes,
but we'll
of
be in
course.
person having a good
The only
smoke.
difference is going to be we only smoking dot heads. That's it.
That's all we're gonna do. It's dot heads all night.
That's it.
And snake charmers.
That's it.
We gotta make shit uncomfortable. We're not doing poor Chris is like, what have I gotten myself into? So look, the hashtag Chris is not racist, okay? He came up with it. They're dot heads and snake charmers. You could blame him.
Absolutely.
I had nothing to do with it.
I take full responsibility.
Just keep in mind that's not on me.
That is a great cigar pack. I can't wait to try those with you guys. I'll be bringing some amazing whiskey, some of them even from New York, some Kentucky whiskey to be announced. All kinds of great products. We'll do some pairings, barbecue. Matty, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be great. It's for a great cause. Anybody that's interested in going, you check with me, check with Tom. Look up Handsome Devil Barbecue. We will get you the links. There's a couple tickets left. It's going to be a nice personalized event. It's we've capped it off at 75, 80 tickets. This way everybody can talk to each other. Instead of it being a little bit too over the top for this one. Let's kick things off. Being able to have a nice conversation with each other and remember our fallen friend Carl.
That's right. And the way to get right to the link where you can get the tickets, learn more. I went ahead and just made it into a shortened link. bourbonblog.com/event. That'll get you there. If you want to learn more, please share that. Please share this video too. Can't wait to have a good conversation here with Chris. Take a moment, like this, share this, wherever you're watching. It'll get you a chance to win that coffee from Janus Coffee Roasters, that bourbon barrel aged coffee. Chris, I understand you're already sipping on a little bourbon. What's your pairing there with your cigar tonight?
So I just have a little bit of Russell's Reserve, the 10-year-old.
I love that. That's actually Jimmy Russell himself. I've spent a lot of time with him over the years. Got to know him. He's been at it for over 50 years. That's actually his favorite of what they do. So it is dynamite stuff. The very top of the top from Wild Turkey, which truly I think has some of the very best bourbon of the classic fashion in Kentucky. It's amazing stuff. What cigar are you smoking there, Chris?
So I have one of our 125th anniversary cigars that we're gonna we're about to release. Just waiting for some packaging to be finished up. Probably in late September, October. We're gonna have it's a new cigar that's coming out for the anniversary.
Wow,
the commemorate 125th year. So
125 years. Your fourth generation. It was your great grandfather that started this. Is that right?
So yeah, in 1896, my great grandfather he started the company in a small little town in Pennsylvania called McSherrystown, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Closest, it's near Gettysburg. That's kind of the general area that it was in. So kind of a little, it was a small town, I think less than 2,000 people, and they had 15 or 20 cigar factories back in the day. So a little mecca for cigar manufacturing at that time.
Fantastic. And that 125th is about to come out like very soon, right?
Yes.
Cigar. What have you done with this cigar? What's it all about? Tell us about this special cigar.
So I mean, for those that know or don't know, I mean, we've always been known to use Connecticut broadleaf. That's kind of our it's kind of synonymous with our name is Connecticut broadleaf. So that's what we're going to use for the wrapper. Of course, it's going to be a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. And what we tried to do is I did 120th anniversary as well, but this one has a little bit more. It's got a little bit of everything in the sense that in the filler, there's actually 4 different fillers. So there's a couple from the Dominican, and we have some Nicaraguan Habano, and we also have some Pennsylvania broadleaf in the filler. So kind of going back to the history as well, just the Pennsylvania in the filler kind of tweaks it just a little bit to give it a little extra nuance that some people, guys that smoke broadleaf, like to pick up on that. So
very nice.
We're excited to get it out there, and as everybody probably knows, packaging is an issue. So that's kind of what the holdup is. The cigars are sitting in the warehouse or in the aging room. They're ready, but we're just waiting for some packaging to be finished up. So
will be out very soon, and probably the best place to learn more, would it be your website, toppercigars.com, as it rolls out?
When it rolls out, yeah, either that or probably more so on even social media too, just to follow our Facebook or Instagram feed.
Gotcha.
To get an idea of where to get them and that type of thing. So
all those places. So Topper Cigars, you've been at it for, your fourth generation. How many years you've been at it doing?
So I started in 94 with my dad.
Wow. So what's
go ahead.
Yeah. So I would say, what's it been like for you to see the last? That's how many? That's like 26. How many? 30.
Going on 27. Yeah.
27. Yeah. You've seen some ups and probably just in general the cigar business. The 90s.
I graduated college in 90, and my dad said, "There's no shot at you coming into the business." So because at that point it was pre-cigar aficionado, there was no cigar dinners, no nothing. It was just a steady decline of the industry.
Right.
I think all through the 80s there was about 100 million imports for premium cigars. So, and then in 92 things started to change, and from 92 to 97 it went from 100 million to 500 million imports. So. And I came in around 93. We were talking about it. In 94, I started with my dad. So
amazing. Matty, what are you smoking there tonight?
We were just talking about Herrera Esteli being in the bag for the event. So
yeah,
a little bit of the Herrera Esteli Miami. We've gone over this before. I love the spiciness on the stick. It's become another one of my go-to sticks. I enjoy it, and I leave the adult beverages obviously up to you guys. So, I get to do the vintage 2021 Coca-Cola coffee dark. So yeah, that's my blend. You guys will converse over adult beverages there. And I was looking for it since we're talking about Chris's stuff. We were laughing before we were online, but I've been smoking Chris's stuff literally, forever. I've been blessed enough to know Chris, probably solid 15 years. So years and years ago, I bought a whole bunch of his stuff up north at Kirk Kendall's place over at Twins, and I bought bundles. And back then, and I loved them. These tiny little Coronas, real simple wrapper. Chris, right? It was a little white wrapper, said Topper cigars on it.
Yeah.
They were like a short Corona, if you will, and I believe it was Connecticut broadleaf, correct?
Yeah, those actually, if they were in the bundles, so those probably were just the regular, like a Breva that was in a Topper Breva that was in one of our better sellers. Just a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, a little Dominican filler, and a Pennsylvania binder. So yeah, it was pretty straightforward.
I can't tell you how tasty they were. And then you talk about when you're dealing with generations and generations of one family selling it under no circumstance. And back in those days, those sticks cost me about $2.90 a stick. And I kid you not. And there's no way anywhere, anyhow, even back then, you'd find a stick double the price that came close. And instead of doing the intelligent thing, saving some of them, I pretty much smoked through all my bundles, maybe half a dozen left. So Chris, if you think I'm shaking you down, I am. Where are they at? I'm not a subtle human, as we know about it. So I gotta shake Chris down for those.
I probably have a few more sitting around somewhere for you.
That works for me because those, like I said, those things dollar for dollar were absolutely amazing. A nice 35 minute smoke, and like I said, the natural sweetness you got off of it, and what's cooler again, for $2.90 you're smoking Connecticut wrapper. And Chris will tell you, Chris is very modest, but Chris will tell you can't do that. You can't do that. Not at that price point.
Right.
No, and it's getting a lot more. It's getting a lot more difficult because tobacco prices continue to rise, and the demand for the higher grade wrapper is intense at at a minimum. So it's not an easy thing to do, and we were putting it on our machine made cigars forever, and it just becomes very difficult to. Most of our product is under $3, like you're saying. So it's very difficult to do that, but in any event, we there's. Just a matter of sourcing the right tobacco and the relationships that we've had since we've been in. My grandfather moved to Connecticut in the 1920s, so we've had relationships for a long time, and have just gone from generation to generation of different growers and things like that too. So been fortunate to be able to be in that position. And I'm 20-30 minutes, I take a drive and I'm out in one of the fields talking to one of the growers. So it's enabled me just nothing that I did, but just the fact that we've had the relationship so long, and I've been able to maintain those. So especially being a small company and fighting all the big guys that have all the power and are buying everything. So it's good to have those relationships that have really helped save our ability to produce or to get the wrapper. So
that is awesome. And again, those farmers, those fields are right. They're really right there next to you then.
Yeah, I'm like 25-30 minutes away from where most of the growing happens. So
incredible. I'm doing a little old fashioned myself, Matty here, and I'm trying one of these Cuatro Cincos you left me with last week. Really enjoying this against a really nice old fashioned Annabelle just made.
A barrel aged smoke. That's
yes.
Perfect pairing right there.
Yes. If anybody has any questions for Chris Topper, or if you're a fan of Topper cigars, if you've tried them, tell us down below what your questions are, what you like. We did have a question from John Arios about the charity event. Actually, he's saying he can't be on site, but he wants to order a package or somehow help support it. Any thoughts on that Sanj or Matty has?
Sure. If you want to go purchase a ticket and get the pack from that, by all means, or you can message Handsome Devil directly, which is our good friend Ed Randolph, and he will do that as a reservation so you get a ticket. Thank you so very much for investing in that and investing in children's future. Carl will be looking very proud and very happy about that. Thank you, John. I appreciate you.
Thank you, John, and thanks for all those that are tuning in here. As I mentioned before, go ahead and like this, share this, and tell us what you're smoking on and sipping on tonight as we move along here. On the Topper cigars, and you all are obviously across the country. What's the last 12, 14 months been like for you all? You were mentioning about how things you're getting back on the market, waiting to release new ones? What's it been like for you?
So we were really fortunate. I mean, the cigar industry has been doing pretty well in general. The bulk of my business, and we have premium cigars that we're talking about. The bulk of my business is a machine-made product that still uses the Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. So those distribution channels pretty much stayed open all the way through COVID and everything. So, we were real fortunate to be able to I had a supply of product. I was able to maintain. I had enough inventory to get through the shutdowns of the factory. So that was I just fortunate on that end, and business has been pretty strong. So, no complaints there. It's just other than just trying to I mean, there's just new issues have arisen. I mean, logistics has been a nightmare, just trying to get stuff delivered on time, and then the packaging is for whatever reason, the packaging has just been a nightmare trying to get stuff completed and done, and everybody's backed up, probably because business is better for most people as well. So but that part of it's just a little frustrating, but I mean, there's always something. So
as we look back at how Topper cigars were made, and the styles that were made back when your great grandfather started at 1800s, early 1900s, how have those evolved? What would you say is like one of the oldest styles that you still do?
So we still make Perfectos, which was pretty much an old style cigar, and a lot of Coronas. One of the things that has changed. I mean, we initially and up until the 60s in the embargo, when my grandfather or my great grandfather, my grandfather, my dad ran factories in Pennsylvania, and we used Connecticut broadleaf wrappers like we've been talking about, but they were all handmade, and we were using Cuban long filler. So it's when the embargo hit in the 60s, my dad had about 20 or 25 rollers left. Their average age was 70. So he was kind of in a difficult situation. Didn't really have anybody. There was no new workforce for him to pull from. So when we switched over to a machine-made product, at that point there was another factory right in the same town, literally a couple blocks away, and they manufactured for us, and still work with them to help me with distribution. So, and then we got back into some more handmades as time went on. But we went from a Cuban long filler, handmade cigar, to a machine-made cigar with short filler. So that was quite an adjustment back in the 60s. So couldn't imagine just going through what that was like going through back at that point. So when the embargo hit. So
wow, yeah. And I would imagine
that's
go ahead,
what you have when you're when you get to be a legacy company, right? You have 125 years in, because everybody talks about Cuban brand legacy and Dominican legacy, but a lot of people forget right here. U.S.
Most people think that that we make mostly machine-made cigars. They don't really. It doesn't get as much notoriety, the fact that we made handmade Cuban long filler for that many years. So, but in any event, I mean, fortunately, the machine-made cigars do well also, and we kind of have a little bit of a niche. There's not a lot of companies, very few actually, that are still around that make this type of cigars that we do, because it's all tobacco. And we still use the broadleaf wrappers, so it's a little bit of a niche, and there's just not. 10 years ago there was probably 4 or 5 families that were similar size to our company, and they've all either just retired or sold off. So most of those brands are gone. So been fortunate to keep it going, and business has been continue to do well. So fortunate in that sense.
Chris, what's the best way that so I know all of our ladies and gentlemen out there probably love the opportunity to get their hands on some real Americana when it deals directly with tobacco and cigars. What's the best way to purchase them from you, Chris? From your site? Is there a particular reseller you should go to, stores?
I mean, what I always recommend is, you want to find a local retailer that carries the product. In the Northeast, that's not a problem. When you get in different parts of the country, we don't have as good a distribution as we do in New England. But the best way is just to either ask for them at a local retailer. If you frequent a store, I mean, if Sanj was in a different part of the country and you just go in and ask Sanj, and he would get it for you. If not, I mean, it is available other ways. I mean, just do Google's always helpful in that sense. I mean, it's pretty easy to find, but it's always good to try and find a local retailer to that way you can go in and try some different ones and not have to buy boxes all at once initially, just to see what you like anyways. We don't sell direct, so I mean, it's the easiest way is just talk to your retailers.
Outstanding. Thank you, Chris. And like I said, ladies and gents, you want the opportunity to smoke, like I said, a real Americana brand, which is something that's it's no longer an easy feat to do with those years of legacy behind it. I highly suggest it, and I'm speaking from my experience with it. Love them, enjoy them. So definitely keep an eye out. I would highly recommend giving it a try.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And as you've been around for 125 years, the brand has, I would imagine, do you have a lot of people that contact you and say, "Hey, we have old cigar boxes, old pieces of history"? Has anything come about or resurfaced that you've been particularly surprised to find from?
One of the neatest stories I have, a quick story, is a couple of years ago, I had a gentleman email me on the website, and I guess his dad had passed away, and he was going through some stuff in the house, and he found in a box, it had a lot of information from his birthday when he was born. I think he had turned, I don't know if he turned 60. I think it was 60, or he was 59 or something like that. In any event, he found a cigar that his father put away, and it was a topper that he put away when he was born. So he brought it back to life, put it in his humidor for a while, and he had a party with his sons and his whole family, and they smoked it all together. So that was kind of a neat piece just for his family, just to be able to relive that. And he was asking me what the cigar was and everything, and I could tell by the band. It's actually the band that I have on this cigar. We found about 50,000 of them, and these were the bands that we were using in the factory in Pennsylvania when we were making everything that was handmade and Cuban long filler. So that was what he had. So he actually had a pre-embargo Cuban topper, and that's what he got to smoke. So it was kind of neat. And the interesting, I think it was actually just after I had come out with our 120th anniversary, which we used some of the bands on also. And it was kind of neat. I mean, it really made that authentic to me, just saying, geez, I mean, I know they were old bands, but I mean, here's a guy that found a cigar that had that band on it. And I mean, I would have loved to, we only found one. I mean, that he was, but at least it was something that was kind of cool. So
that is, and again, it was how old? How old was it?
It had to be around, I think he was born in 60 or 61. Off the top of my head, it was, so it was, the cigar had to be, if it was 5 years ago, I mean, it was 55, 60 years old anyways.
Wow.
So it was, and I have found, I have a few left. I did find a box, and actually it was in Cigar Aficionado. They put it in the they reviewed it with all the old cigars in that one section that they do the old cigars. So it was kind of neat. I went down and smoked it with Dave Savona at Cigar Aficionado in New York, and it was great just to smoke something that's that old. I mean, it's actually amazing. I thought it wouldn't have any flavor at all. So, but it still had some flavor left. So. I mean, I think, Matty, your buddy Phil, Phil Zhang, he said that the broadleaf just aged like shoe leather. That stuff, it looked fine. It burnt great. It was amazing but just to be able to smoke something that's that old, and knowing that my grandfather could have been overseeing the production of it was quite. It was interesting. It was cool for me to be able to smoke those cigars that I found. So.
That is really, what is a cigar? What does it do over those kinds of years? I mean, if it's taken good care of, are you going to get any notes that?
The craziest thing, I mean, I could sit here and tell you, it's got to be imperfect. We talk about all the, aging wines and the different things they do with barrels and all that kind of stuff with bourbons and all those things. But I mean, I found this in a storage unit that I had. So it was in the crappiest condition you could possibly imagine. I mean, it was in a box. Fortunately, the box was sealed, so there was cellophane on it, so not a lot of the elements got to it. They were very dry. I took like 6 months to bring them back. I smoked one that day when I found it, and I wasn't really sure what I found until I just looked at the bottom of the box and realized that it had the factory code from our factory in Pennsylvania. But in any event, so I mean, it's something that old normally, and usually it doesn't have a lot of flavor left, but there was still a decent amount of flavor, and it was an enjoyable smoke. And obviously, it was more emotional to me. It was probably the most emotional cigar I ever smoked. I mean, I was when I found the box, nobody was around, and I didn't know what it was initially because I just wasn't sure if it was long filler. Because if it was long filler, it had to be Cuban. So there was a couple that were damaged, and I took the binder off. I cut a portion of one of the cigars off. There was some damage to it, so I cut like the bottom third of the cigar off. Took the wrapper off, took the binder off, and it was all long filler. So I just kind of lit it up and smoked it. And in my office, and I got a picture of my, my great grandfather, my grandfather, and my dad were kind of just sitting there watching over me smoke it. So it was just kind of it was an amazing thing just to be able to smoke something that was that old. And I always knew the history and always talked about it, but never got to smoke any of the old cigars. I think the rest of our old cigars that we had, the Cubans, were smoked at my parents' 25th anniversary, which was, I was too young to even smoke at that point. So it was the first time that I got to smoke anything that we made back in the old factory. So it was, and again, most of those cigars, when you can read a lot of reviews, they usually don't have a lot of flavor left. I thought it had more flavor, and even Dave Sabona from Fischer and Matty Rock, we were smoking, and he was he was impressed and was amazed at how well it had aged. So, and anyway, I'd like to make a story that we had it in the humidor in someplace, real good, but it was actually in a storage facility that went through, 90 degrees in the summer and 0 in the winter, and somehow they survived and were able to smoke. I still have a couple sitting in my humidor over there, so waiting for a good occasion to bring them out and smoke some more. So
it always connects us to the past. I mean, what a special experience. It's much like whiskeys we found that are from the 80s, from the 70s, to actually have a snapshot of time of what those whiskeys taste like, and maybe what the terroir was like, or the hand of that distiller. Gerald Lee, Becky, I see a lot of great people watching. Thank you for tuning in here on Cigar Saturday, and take a moment, like and share this video. And you're watching Bourbon Blog Live. We do this every Saturday. Usually we did it Sunday last week, Matty, but almost every Saturday night it's this, and we'll even be live in one place next week, probably right after our event. Who are we going to be talking to next week?
Tom came to my neighborhood. He's coming to my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Then, Mr. Topper, you're going to be visiting us at the Barn Smoker the following week?
I should be back. Yes, I know I'm away and I come back on that Friday, so I'll be around.
Oh, good.
Outstanding. So you see, Tom, now that all of us are getting back on the road, it's good that we all get to see each other again. And I think that was the most important thing about all this. We had, as we talked about all the time, the power to do this digitally, but nothing quite like shooting the breeze with your people and your friends and your family in person. That camaraderie is just there's no substitution for it.
Yeah. No, and it'll be good to meet you at an upcoming Barn Smoker as well, Chris. Looking forward to doing our show in person. Well, I guess it'll be the next couple of weeks. So, what do we have coming up next week, Matty? Who are we going to be? Do we know we're going to be talking to next week?
So next week's guest is top hat manufacturer Peter Grimm. So we will be with Peter and Aaron Grimm, talking about the legacy of the hats that they've been producing for many years here. And I don't think there's too many stores you can walk into and not find Peter Grimm hats. I'm a big fan of their drifter hats and their fedoras. So if you go to petergrimm.com or any big stores like Nordstrom's or anything like that, you will find their hats there, and they'll tell you about the best way to pick up their product and check out some of the new stuff that they're working on. Because I think just like everybody else, everybody had to slow down in getting new product just simply because of logistics.
Excellent. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to the Barn Smokers. Hopefully seeing you here in the near future, Chris, trying some of your cigars. Again, that 125th anniversary cigar. Well, that'll be a fairly limited edition then coming up?
Yeah. Initially, the initial run is going to be limited. It's going to be an actual line that I'm going to continue. Like with the 120th, we just made X amount, and that was it. They're going to be, I'm releasing like another 150 boxes, probably, I think towards the middle of August. I'm going to release those, and those will be gone, and that's it. But this line I'm going to continue. So I just started off with one size, just the Toro 6x52, pretty much a basic size that everybody will that anybody will smoke. And then we're going to hopefully continue it. The difficulty is just getting the right wrapper to and having that availability. So I have enough for this year's production, next year's production, and then just have to work some magic to try and get some of the wrapper to continue it. And then that'll depend on how much we can release, basically. So as far as numbers.
Excellent. So that'll be a new release coming. Any other new releases, projects you're working on there at Topper Cigars? You have so many wonderful cigars in your collection. One
of the old brands that I have the distribution for is Marsh Wheeling. which is, I mean, that goes back to 1840 with the old Stogies. So that's probably, I think that is the oldest brand that's on the market, just about. And just coming out with some new packaging for that. We initially released it in boxes of 50, and we're going to come out with 5-packs. So that'll be something there. And right now, that's about it. It's enough just getting normal packaging for a couple of new items, much less trying to come out with a bunch of new stuff. So just trying to keep the blinders on and keep things going the way, just supplying the distribution channel with what we do well. And that's a lot of the machine made product, just trying to keep those in stock. And I mean, that's a big problem in the industry. A lot of industries now is just the back orders and not being able to get products. So I'm just trying to be able to not get too distracted. It's real easy to get distracted. I mean, there's always stuff you want to do in a project you want to work on, but it's just, I try to just got to learn how to say no, I guess. I'm just trying not to get off on too many tangents and just keep doing what we've been doing. And I mean, our whole, if we had a mission statement, it's just value. I mean, it's always been a value oriented product. And that's, probably why I'm still sitting here after, in the 125th years, because we've always offered a quality, inexpensive product. So.
Yeah. And again, I can tell you from my experience, definitely that quality, value, Americana. And like I said, I'm big into history. I'm big into legacy stuff. So the coolest part of that, like I said, is the history that goes behind the brand. I'm blessed enough to have Chris as a friend and really get to know the family history of it. And there's really not too much cooler than that knowing that you're smoking something that's had that United States legacy and been a part of it, for 125 years.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Now, Chris, you don't have a label around to be a spoiler for the new cigar that we could see, do you? So we could be those guys. Are we allowed to be spoilers?
Right. Here we go. I can get it to look. So this label is actually was on our cigars in the 60s. These are we found a box of about 50,000 of the bands. And if I show you on the back, so I'm not doing too good with the camera here. There's actually, we had to put like an extender on the back of the band. Because if you think about it, in the 60s, we weren't making cigars that were a 52 ring gauge. So it actually doesn't fit the cigars. So for every cigar there's a gold insert on the back just to make the band fit the 52 ring gauge that we make today. So, and I have 40,000 of them left. I'm going to use those for the initial production, and then we'll have to replicate the band. There's no old other storage areas or facilities that I can find anymore. But actually, the factory in Pennsylvania that we used, Craig Smith, he actually was the one that he had a box. And they were in perfect shape. I mean, and there was 50,000 of the bands initially in there. So I think that's the last of the old stuff that I have that I can actually use. So it's kind of cool to be able to use the actual band. And going back to that old story that I was talking about, I mean, this was the actual band that was on that cigar that he had found that his dad put away in his box when he was born. So it was, it's kind of cool to have a little bit of extra history on the actual cigar itself. So.
That is wonderful.
Cool as that, guys and gals. So when you start getting those first boxes from Chris, you're actually going to have bands that are over 60 years old. It's pretty badass.
Probably older than most of the people smoking the cigars. The bands are pretty old. So
well, I feel 80. So
that really is something special. You're really getting it's a taste of the past. It's a piece it's something so special. So we'll definitely look forward to.
Just think about it. You're getting a piece of the story in the
right.
cigar. I mean, there's not a lot of places that can boast that you're getting a rapper that's been in Chris's family for generations. So that's pretty wild.
That is really amazing. What a special touch that is. I can't wait to try the 125th anniversary Topper Cigar. And again, the place to find them, toppercigars.com, will get you to their Instagram, Facebook, every place. Really appreciate you being here tonight, Chris. It's such a pleasure to meet you virtually, and looking forward to seeing you very soon in person. And thanks for having a whiskey with me. I bet that the Russell's is a good pairing for cigars. I bet that really tastes good with the cigar you're smoking there.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's been great, and I'll make sure that we have some. Sorry, didn't get you guys cigars for the show, but we'll have some when we see you at the Barn Smoker.
It's all right. We'll just you could find maybe the pre-Cuban.
You find it.
I'm just saying, came across any, the pre-embargo Cuban toppers. I'm just saying, it would be hard to say.
That would have to be a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. So that's we can't. That's a special thing. So we'll have to figure out what to do there.
That'll be on the Taboo Network. Yeah.
Honestly, that's the hardest thing is having that box. I had 42. There was 42 cigars that were smokable. So I went through a few initially, and now it's like, it's almost like I got to try to figure out who I can smoke them with, and because once they're gone, those are gone. I mean, I don't care even if I don't smoke another one. So maybe I won't be able to find one can fall out of the box somewhere for you. But in any event,
it's going to dig deep.
The fact that you get to talk about something like that is.
But you can't post about it because then everybody else will say, "How come Matty got one and I didn't get one?" Right? So then
we just won't tell anybody.
Well, I can tell you, I was menacing. we could use menacing as an excuse. So we're in Connecticut as the headquarters, so people know a little bit more about history, Chris.
I'm right in the middle of the state. I'm in the Southington. I just have just an office there. I mean, everything there's really because of all the tobacco taxes and everything, it doesn't make any sense to inventory any product in Connecticut. So everything gets shipped out of Pennsylvania, and just a small office here. That's it. So
very cool.
Incredible.
So, like I said, important stuff, guys and gals. Keep an eye out for the new release. I'm sure you're not going to be sorry that you're going to have to wait for it a little bit with production lagging in the background with the boxes and everything. But it's going to be worth it. I've smoked this stuff for years. I've always been incredibly happy with it. I've enjoyed it, and like I said, the fact that you get that extra history lesson mixed in with it is even cooler.
Yes.
It's not really something you're going to have the ability to do. That's on Tom's side, same kind of thing when you have Legacy USA brand liquors that has that history to go back to. So that's always a cool stuff. Whenever you have a story behind the product, I think it adds so much more to it.
Yes.
Is that intrigue, right?
Yep. And you'll be getting a piece of the history in all kinds of ways, no matter what type of cigar it is, or if it's that 125th on that label, something so special to be watching for. And I'm looking forward to trying these. It'll be really amazing to try these and hopefully with you, Chris, here in a few weeks. Look forward to it.
Yeah. You two should be in the same place at the same time. So if Chris can grace us with his presence at the Connecticut Barn Smoker, which, I'll just keep asking him every day, you coming, Chris? And you guys will get to meet and you'll get to fire one up together, guys.
Nice.
Sounds like a plan.
Looking forward to it. I appreciate all that you and your family have done for the tobacco business all these years, 125 years. Congratulations to you and a real toast to something that's truly a piece of Americana.
Congrats.
Well
brother.
done, Chris. And thanks to all who've watched tonight. A lot of people liked and shared this episode. Chris, I'm going to have you select a random number between 1 and 37 tonight to see who wins that coffee.
14.
All right, 14. Lucky winner is Gerald Lee. Gerald, thanks for watching tonight.
Gerald, well done.
We'll make sure you get the bag of Janus coffee, and if anybody's interested in that Janus coffee, I'll put that link up. Place to go, bourbonblog.com/coffee. Once again, just to hit that event before we leave here, event Matty and I and Sanj and so many other great people, Ed Randolph will be at next week. Not quite this time, a week from today. It'll be noon to 4 in Newburgh, New York. bourbonblog.com/event will get you there. Matty, we'll see you and we'll see Sanj soon. That wonderful bag of cigars. Great. We're going to have some great barbecue too, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have great barbecue. You have Tank is coming up from Holy City Hogs to be doing a pig for us. You have a couple of the local liquor vendors will be there. You got that Tom Fischer guy that will be doing
That's right.
some
He'll be there
pours
too.
of high-end spirits and bourbons. So it's going to be a blast. It'll be good for all of us to be together. And like I said, supporting a great cause. You have Carl's Cause, which again puts underprivileged kids and gives them the opportunity to go to culinary school. And Ed Randolph has his own local one that feeds underprivileged children in the area. So again, both charities, really, really solid cause. Blessed and proud to be a part of it, and it's a great thing to do in honor of a legendary guy that I was proud enough to call my brother Carl. So much love to you, Carl. And Chris, anybody has any questions for you, best way to reach out to you is on Instagram and everything else.
Yeah, the Instagram. I mean, they can go to the website and just send me an email through there if they want. That's easiest too.
Excellent. Well, look forward to all this. Really great to have you on the show, Chris, and look forward to seeing you with one of your topper cigars in person soon. And Matty, hope you all there at Sanja's have a good rest of the Saturday night. Anything exciting happening there at Sanja's after you jump on here?
It's like I said, the weather was perfect out today. So there's a for those who tune in all the time, you know, at the back of the patio, so there's a nice little party grooving out there. So, you know, maybe I'll go back there and crash it. If you don't hear from me crashing it was not successful. So if you don't see me next week, you know that there was an issue and something happened. But honestly, no, it's a perfect night for it. I think it'll be in the low 70s all night tonight. For once, it's not going to rain, and Mother Nature is not going to scorn us with hail or tornadoes, and she's going to kind of leave us alone a little bit.
That's good. That's a good thing. Well, in case you all joined us midstream, this episode will be up permanently wherever you're watching: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and it'll also be on our podcast channel as well. So be sure and look for that. We'll upload that tonight. Chris, Matty, everyone watching, thanks for joining us here on Cigar Saturday. It's really a pleasure to have everybody here.
Gentlemen, much love. Chris, thanks for coming on. I'll see you real soon.
Thanks for having me. Sounds good. Stay well, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris and Matty. Much love.
Guys.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.